So, Audi A6 in for a single stage polish and Ultimaxx Nanomaxx Ceramic Coating. Got a bit of a stuffy nose, sorry. So, seen a wee clip there of just the snow from the car. So we did the full safe wash, so we did wheels and arches cleaned, citrus pre-wash, snow foam wash, 2 bucket wash. We then did a good rinse, then we did tar and glue remover, removed all the tar and then gave it another good rinse. So now we're going to move on to the clay bar, which is a really important step. So I'll show you what clay bar we use, how we use it and why we use it. So, clay bar removes the contaminants that are in paint. So you can wash it and clean it as much as you want, but there'll still be contaminants that are in the paint. You need the clay bar to pull those contaminants out of the paint and into the clay bar. So this is a really important step when you're doing something like a paint correction with a machine. So there's lots of different brands out there. I think nearly every brand is a clay bar, even Halfords. So this is £5 from Halfords. It's a very cheap. So it's a very abrasive clay, very rough. There's lots of, if you use this, there'll be lots and lots of marring. Saying you need this one, it wants you to use a quick detailer as a lubricant. So you can get dedicated clay bar lubricants. One of the best I've used is from Water Glands, but you can use it. Top tip, if you need a lubricant for your clay bar, a bottle, just like this. But Johnson's baby shampoo, yellowy goldy stuff in, fill it with water, good shape, and that's a good enough lubricant for a clay bar. And you get stuff like Built Hamper, Autoclay, a very good clay bar. Clay bar I've used for the past couple of months and probably won't go away from is AM Details clay. The beauty of this one is the only thing you need when you are clay barring a car is H2O, water. That's all you need to work this clay, and it is one of the best clay bars I've ever used. It pulls all the contaminants out of the paint, doesn't mar too much. It's just fantastic. I've got a piece here, as you can see, nice and clean. So we'll see what contaminants we pull out in a minute when we go around. You can get stuff, I think called they call them exfoliator blocks. I've not used them yet. It's like a block with like a clay pad, and you rub that out of the car. Get one of them and try one of them. You can also get these things called a clay mitt, so it's just like a car mitt. So all you do with this, so you'll get your wash bucket with all your suds in it and you use that as a lubricant. Again, very aggressive and be very careful. You can really mar the paint, swirl the paint and scratch the paint up using one of them. If you use too much pressure and not enough lubricant, you will mar, scratch the paint. So we're going to fill our bottle with water. We've got our piece of clay. Show you quickly how to use the clay bar. It's very simple to use, very easy to use. And we'll clay bar the whole car, see what contaminants we put out the paint. So this car looks spotlessly clean, so we'll see what we get out of it. So we've got our clay. So what you want to do is you want to work it out into a nice circle sort of shape. Just break it down like this. Nice and flat. Place it on. I place it on my fingers. So I haven't dried the car yet. It's just literally been washed, decontaminated. Very thorough rinse to make sure all the tar glue remover has been removed, and then we're just going to get the area nice and wet. A couple of sprays with the clay bar, and then no pressure. Set the clay bar glide over the top of the surface. You can sometimes hear it. So you can hear it's rough to smooth, and you'll feel it in the clay bar where if it's a very contaminated area, it'll be very rough. And you'll feel it and you'll hear it. And that's when you know you need to work that area a little bit more. So So it's nice and smooth and the clay bar just glides over it. So keep it heavily lubricated. So another reason it's good to clay bar is if you're going to remove all your old waxes and sealants. So anything you've had on the car before, the clay bar will pull all that off and make sure there's none in the car. So your paintwork is as fresh as possible. By applying your new sealant, the ceramic coating, or even just your wax, you'll adhere best. Now some people would say, if you're not machine polishing, you shouldn't clay bar your car. But if your car is already heaviest in the world, and that doesn't bother you, then by all means I would say get a clay bar. Just be very gentle and very careful. Take your time. You're not pushing, there's no pressure. Literally my fingers are just pressed, guiding the clay bar across the top of the paint. Oh, very nicely pulling all the contaminants. Might not be any, and then at least I know the whole car's been done and there's nothing on the car that way. So let's finish off this panel and then we'll have a look, see how our clay bar looks. Guys, so you can see some. Show you. Okay, if you can see it, but you can see there's definitely some contamination being lifted from the clay bar and from the paint into the clay bar. So once that gets very dirty, all you're going to do is stretch it, fold it, press it, flatten it out. So now I'm going to go around and do the whole car. So, we left off yesterday, you've seen us. We talked through the clay bars, how to use a clay bar, what the clay bar is for. Clay barred the whole car, we've dried the whole car, we've blown drying it, and now we're back the next day, which is Saturday something of March, can't remember the date. So, I'll just show you the clay bar, and this, so the car looked clean when it came in, and then this is what we pulled off. There you go. So that was nice and white, pristine when it came out of the box. I'll show you what it comes out of the box like. So it's all nice and white when it comes out of the box. We've clay barred this car, and this is what we've pulled out inside the paint. In the paint. Quite a lot. So when you think your car is 100% clean, generally it's not. So that's why it's really important to clay bar a car before you touch it with a machine polisher. Because imagine you're machine polishing this and it's pulling all this up and it's in your pad and it's on your pad and it's just going to inflict more damage to the car. So let's just make sure that the paint is 100% clean before we attempt start the machine polishing process. So that's AM Details clay. That's my go-to. Like I said, you just use it with a bit of water, spray it on the car, light pressure, well no pressure really, just using your hand to hold it on the car and around each panel. So I'll put a link in the description for the clay. Use that link and I'll take you straight to the bar. There we go. Right, so now we're going to crack on. A6, it's going to get a single stage machine polish. We're going to use Cartec Final Cut 9000. Whole car, probably just a foam pad, it's not too bad at all. And then it's going to get coated in ceramic. We're going to go with Ultimaxx Nanomaxx, and I'll probably top it with slicks. It's got a good lot of protection. Then we're going to go on the glass, and we're going to put on Geon Repel for the glass. Let's go back to that one. So that's the single stage polish all done on the A6. It's 5 o'clock, so took a good 8 and a bit hours. But looking very nice. Turn the camera around to give you a better look. So, looking nice and glossy. Very great clarity in the paint. No swells. Obviously the deeper scratches will still be there, but we've definitely enhanced the gloss and the reflectiveness and the clarity of the paint, which is the old idea, in my opinion, of a stage 1 polish. It's not to remove all the defects, it's just to make the paint look as best as it can, as shiny as it can, which is what we've done. So we've removed all the minor scratches, the minor swirls, etc., and it's enhanced the gloss and created better paint clarity. So it's 10 to 7 on Sunday morning. I'm going to get this coated. So we're going to use Ultimaxx Nanomaxx. It's a 1-year ceramic coating. I'm going to top this with this Ultimaxx Slicks, which is a top coat. Give it nice and glossy look. Plenty of protection for about 12 to 16 months, I'd say, when you put that all together. So, I'm crack on and do that, and get it coated, and you coat the glass, and then that's it, good to go. So, that's